That whom much is given, much is required. What is that to you guys? To whom much is given, much is required. What does that mean to some of you? To whom much is given, much is required means when you're given, say, a responsibility to be a manager somewhere, then much is required of you to become responsible for that office, for the people, for the duties that you're given. To whom much is given, much is required. So when you're giving a lot, right? You've been given a lot, much more is required from you, right? If you're not given any responsibility, then really not much is required from you. But only then, when you have more that's put on your plate, then you have more to do, right? That's why people grow in leadership, because you start sometimes at a position, right? At a position where you're just a worker, but the boss sees you and says, hey, you know what? I'd like him to be, the manager of this department. Then he moves you to a manager position, but now the responsibility that you had as the worker is different than the position that you have as a manager, right? So you become more responsible with more duties and more things. So that is an example of to whom much is given, much is required, right? And the Bible talks about that. And so the more that you're given, in life, the more you're required, right? There comes a time where you start, with your family at home, you got a bedroom, it's required to clean the bedroom. You move on, you get a job, now you're responsible for your room and your job and your school and things like that. And then it gets bigger to where now you go on and get married and you become responsible over your family, right? You become responsible over your kids, your wife, your house, your duties, right? Then you become a man. So your responsibilities grow, and the more you grow, the more responsibilities you have, because you're given much more sometimes, right? Does that make sense? So that's where that terminology comes, to whom much is given, much is required.